Narcissist Ensnared. Episode 36. Wynne had sent 4 further messages asking Ashley to get in touch with him. He had tried ringing her, but she had not answered her telephone. He was confused and worried. This made no sense. He had reread the messages again, just to ensure that he had not missed anything. They were plain as day, nothing untoward contained within them at all. He was mystified as to what she had been referring to. It was 4 hours since she had unexpectedly turned up at his house. Once upon a time, she would have crept into bed with him and made love to him, yet this time she turned up in an odd frame of mind, spouting accusations and then racing from him as if he had done her some kind of harm. He sent another text. "What is the address of the place we are meant to be viewing this afternoon, please? Kiss, kiss, kiss." They had earlier agreed that he would come to a viewing this afternoon. His phone chimed, and he saw that she had sent him an address. At least that was something. Wynne rolled to a halt outside the address of the property. Ashley was already there. He got out of the car as she stepped out of the front door of the house. He was not sure what to expect. She walked over to him and hugged him, kissing him on the neck. "I love you so, so much," she said, and squeezed him. "I love you too," he said, feeling the relief flowing through him. They looked around the house, which was a decent size, and then Wynne asked if she had eaten. She had not. "Why don't we grab a late lunch then, or an early tea?" he suggested. "Oh, can we, please, Mummy? I would love to do that," piped up Amelia, who had been in earshot. Ashley looked thoughtful. "Come on, it'll be good," encouraged Wynne. "Please, Mummy, he is so funny. Let's have tea together," pleaded Amelia, pointing at Ian. "Okay, but you mustn't tell Daddy that you've seen Ian, okay?" "Why not?" asked Wynne. "The undertaking only applies when she is at the house." I know, but it's just easier if he doesn't know," replied Ashley. They headed to a nearby shopping centre and headed to the restaurant quarter, where they sat and had an enjoyable meal. They looked like an ordinary family out enjoying something to eat on a Saturday afternoon. Ashley had eaten very little. "Are you not hungry?" asked Wynne, as he polished off his meal. "Not really. My mouth feels a bit sore. I think I'm getting a sore throat." "Oh dear. You should still try and eat, though." She nodded. Later they parted ways. She needed to do some shopping, and she confirmed she would be seeing him tomorrow for their usual few days together. Nothing more was said about her behaviour that morning, and Wynne, relieved that they were getting along, didn't want to draw any attention to it. He had no desire to rock the boat. She had been delightful when he arrived at the house, and the swift return to that state of affairs was all that he cared about. He just put her behaviour down to the anxiety that she seemed to suffer from. All the fault of Peter, of course. Back at home, Wynne was reading a book in his living room when his phone rang. It was Ashley. "Oh, Ian, help me. I'm in such pain," she said, stifling a sob. "What's wrong?" "It's my mouth and throat. They hurt so much." "Where are you?" "Part way home, not far from the shopping centre." "Is it really bad?" "Yes," she croaked. "I was crying with pain, and Amelia said for me to ring you." "Turn around and come here. I'll take you to a walk-in centre for some treatment." "No, there's no need for a fuss." "No fuss? You sound like you're in a lot of pain." "It's okay. I'll just get some lozenges." "Are you sure that'll be enough?" Yes, it's okay." "I will come and collect you if you want. Are you fit to drive?" "Yes, I'll manage. I need to get back and put Christopher to bed. It's after his bedtime as it is." "Well, if you're sure, let me know how you are doing." "I will, thank you," she answered. Wynne ended the call. It was clear that she was running herself down, and it was no surprise, after everything that she had endured. Wynne flicked through the television channels and looked to the clock again. It was 2:30. It was a sunny afternoon, on a Sunday, and Ashley and he should have been walking through a local park. Instead, he was sat waiting for her to arrive. She had sent him a message just after 11, explaining that she needed Peter to sign some documents concerning the sale of the house, and she was going to attend to that. He had acknowledged her text. Wynne was concerned that she was actually having some contact with Peter, certainly after she had avoided doing so following his threatening telephone call. Eventually, he heard the front door open, and he jumped up. Ashley appeared in the hallway. "Hi, you made it then." "Sorry?" "You've taken an age. It's nearly 3:00. "Is it? Oh, sorry, he wanted to talk." "I thought he was just signing some documents," remarked Wynne. "Well, yes, but he wanted to talk, so I went to his house." "His house? Why?" "Amelia wanted to show me her room at his house, so I did it for her. It's a large house, although it needs gutting. The interior is rather old." "I see. What did he want to talk about? Have you been talking all this time?" "Oh, no, I had to pop back to the house and collect my stuff and then come here. Well, you won't believe it, but he wants me back." "Sorry?" "He wants me back. He wants to go out for dinner this evening to talk about it," she explained. "What did you say to that?" "I told him no, silly." "Right." "It was bizarre. He hasn't seen me for a while. He turned up at the swimming pool instead of my father to collect the children. He asked if we could talk, and as I said, Amelia wanted to show me her room, so I said I would. He pleaded with me to go back. He said, 'Come back to me. Come back to us.'" "Why is he doing this?" "He says he cannot live without me. He said he was shocked when he saw me that I've lost weight and I looked almost skeletal. He even checked in my mouth and said I have a mouthful of ulcers. Look." She opened her mouth, and Wynne looked inside. He could see the white ulcers dotted around on the inside. "That's because you're run down," said Wynne. She nodded. "Peter said the same. He said I wasn't looking after myself and that he would do that." "No, he won't. I will," asserted Wynne. "I know, but isn't it strange that he wants me back? I've run Louise and Jen to tell them too." Wynne thought that Ashley seemed excited by this development, almost as if she was welcoming it. "What did they say?" he asked. "They forbade me from going back." "So they should." "I know. I'm just stunned by it. He went on and on, telling me all the reasons why we should be together, that he forgave me for what I had done. He said I didn't know my own mind and I was suffering from postnatal depression. That's why I did as I did." "He just uses that as an excuse. He cannot accept that he caused you to leave him. He always has to blame something else," commented Wynne. "He said you should not have enticed me." "I didn't. You came after me." "Well, he said you should have turned me around and sent me away. You should have realized I did not know what I was doing since I had just had a baby." "Which is it, then?" said Wynne in irritation. "I either enticed you or I should have turned you around," said Wynne, annoyed by this development. This arsehole had already eaten into their time together, and now he had the audacity to ask Ashley to return to him. He was seriously deluded. "Oh, I don't know. He said so much. Come on, where are we going? Have you decided?" "I thought we could go out to Tollside and have a look around there. It's a beautiful afternoon." "Good idea. There's a house I'm interested in as well that's not too far from there. We could go there, and then there's an excellent Chinese restaurant we could go to for dinner." "Good. Come on, enough of the day has gone already. Let's get going," said Wynne. It was nearing midnight, and Ashley and Wynne remained awake. They had driven out to the gardens at Tolside and walked amongst the glorious displays in the warm spring sunshine. Ashley kept apologising that she could not kiss Wynne since her mouth was so sore. He told her that he didn't mind. He found, however, that she often looked distracted and distant, but he did not dare ask her what was going through her head. He did not really want to know. After their walk, they drove to the house that Ashley had seen whilst trawling the internet. It was a development of 3 new houses on a plot of land in the countryside, with a commanding view across the valley. They couldn't get in, but peered through the windows at the empty house within, and then left to go to the restaurant. Now, they were back at Wynne's house and enjoying their second bottle of wine. Ashley had pestered Wynne to obtain some cocaine. She said it would numb her mouth and ease the pain she was in. He refused at first, but eventually gave in and agreed, wanting to be seen as helpful and not obstructive. "He sent me a text earlier," she remarked as she sat on the bed. "Who did? Peter?" "Yes. It was a picture of my initials." "Sorry?" "When I was at his house, I drew my initials in the dust on a windowsill. He drew a heart around them and sent me a picture of it." "How romantic," said Wynne sourly. Ashley didn't appear to hear him. "He sent me a message telling me that he keeps looking out of the window, hoping to see me walking back up to his house." "Tell him he'll have a long wait." "Sorry, what was that?" she asked. "Nothing." "You know, I was thinking I could go back," continued Ashley. "What? What the fuck are you talking about?" "Well, I've put up with him for years. What's another 20 years, you know, for the sake of the children?" she commented. She almost seemed to be talking to herself, oblivious to Wynne being in the room. "Ashley, have you heard what you are saying? You have left him. We are together. You are getting divorced. Why on earth would you want to go back to him, to all of that abuse?" "I just thought I could. It doesn't mean that I'm going to." "Well, no. You've come so far getting away from him. He's obviously unable to let go, but he will in time. The more time passes, and the fact you give him no reason to think that you can get back together, will mean he will give up." "Yes, I'm sure you're right. Sorry, I hadn't realised I was thinking aloud. Is there any more gear?" she asked. "It's getting late and we have work tomorrow," warned Wynne. "My head is spinning, so I won't sleep. It numbs the pain. Please, I need some." "Do you really think you should?" "Yes, I need to stop the pain in my mouth. Every time I take a drink, it feels like I'm drinking fire." "You'd be better off going to sleep and resting." "There's no chance of that. I have too much to think about. Come on, don't be a stick in the mud." Wynne sighed and drew up a further line for her, passing the placemat across to her. She eagerly snorted the line and smiled, tossing her hair back. "You are a good man, Ian. You always do as I ask." "Well, not always, but I do try and be supportive and amenable, and I just let you be yourself. But I don't think you should be taking this. But I'm not going to stop you. I don't own you. I don't control you. You are your own person." "Yes, I am, though I've never been allowed to be that before. It's all rather alien to me," she confessed. "You will get used to it." "You know, I think I will. It will be nice to do what I want, rather than trying to please everybody else."